As of who is coming, you've got the list. It's a long one. Can we break that down a little bit? Leave off that there's a lot of not a lot, but there's a handful of 2025s. We'll ignore that. We're getting way ahead of ourselves. More so of the current 2023 guys who's going to be on there. Before you do that though, we got a super chat from my boy Dominic. Says been all a little, but getting stuff back on track to donate. Big noise, Discord kicking it. The fam is awesome. Love you all, but also I am number one. He is number one in our fantasy football league. Thanks, Dominic, for the love and support, but I appreciate it. All right, David. So back to you, man. Who's going to be the lineup this weekend?
How long you got on this live stream?
Make it quick. Braves game's on.
Well, it's a lot of people, I can tell you that, and a lot of Florida's recruiting classes on this list. I even asked Corey Bender. I said, "Is the whole recruiting class just coming to this game too?" But Billy Napier, he really stated that he wanted all these guys to come to the Florida LSU game. I mean, there was kids trying to visit for Kentucky. He said, "No, LSU, Florida." Corey kind of went into that a little bit with me, but yeah, if you look down at this list, man, I mean, the official visitors. If you want to go 5 stars here, you got defensive lineman James Smith. 5-star edge rusher Qua Russell. Really bad at actually pronouncing names, so if I get the pronunciation wrong, just bear with me. Obviously, you said Marcus Stokes is there, and this list is from Blake Alderman too, by the way. So it does get updated. I did ask Corey if there might be more visitors in the days to come, and he said he doesn't know. There could be John Walker could visit maybe UCF commit there. So you go down this list. Bryce Thornton, he could be committed to Florida by this time. Cormani McClain is listed as a maybe. They don't know if he's coming or not. Trayon Webb, all the Gator commits. I'm not really going to go down that list because a lot of the Gator commits that are on this list are coming. South Carolina commit Xavier McLeod. He's coming too. Jordan Hall is possible for right now. Jaron Hamilton, 4-star guy. 3-star wide receiver Tyree Patterson. He's a Gator commit as well. He will be there. Wide receiver Brian Green. It's a preferred walk-on. That got a guy. And then I got this one too. I thought this was pretty interesting. Georgia Tech transfer Demetrius Knight. Now he's hasn't really played that much at Georgia Tech. Wasn't really a highly ranked guy, but he is in the portal, I believe. And I don't know if he's just taking visits or what the deal or what the scoop is on that. But he's a linebacker. We need linebackers. I don't know how good this kid is. I've never watched this film, but he's coming. He's visiting. And then after that, you really get to the 2024 kids, like the big target DJ Lagway for Florida, the main target there of this class. He's coming, 5-star quarterback. 2024 5-star wide receiver Jeremiah Smith. 2024 5-star wide receiver Joshua Trader. 5-star edge rusher Elijah Rushing. You go down the list of 2024 guys. I mean, it just doesn't end. I would say it's mainly, 6 5-stars from the 2024 class. And I would say
That's huge.
3, 4. It's about 8 4-star kids from the 2024 class. Then you got a few 2025 guys that are 5 stars and all of that. So, I mean, when you go down the list too, and it could add, we could add more to this list, but it's the biggest visitor list that I've seen so far, obviously, this year, but it's the biggest visitor list that I've seen probably in a while. I think the last time there was a big visitor list, it was Florida, Alabama of last year. So,
okay. The Utah game was pretty big this year as well, too, but not as big as this.
As far as talent, no.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. I think the 2023 year, this year, obviously, the Dream Team 23, I mean, he's playing catch-up a little bit, obviously. It's still his first year. There's a lot of that he has to establish. The 2024 season, to me, is that first full real cycle, and have 6 5-stars from that class. It's going to be massive, especially that DJ Lagway. I think he's going to pull some studs. And if things can get going in the right direction, I mean, I think he's already shown Billy, and who I'm talking about, a great sign of what's to come. And look, I think if we take a look at the entire scenery here of college football, right? Miami is in a dumpster fire right now. After all the hype and hoopla with Cristobal coming in, it doesn't seem to be translated onto the field like everybody's praising that it would. And it's awesome to see them be a complete dumpster fire. UCF, I think the hype is now gone. It's starting to slimmer away a little bit. They're not what people were expecting them to be. John Walker is one that we talked about that when he first committed, that's possibly a high likely to flip. It's even more likely now. And then you got LSU, right? They obviously have Brian Kelly. That was supposed to be another new face, excitement, hype. That seems to be a little on the fence just because of the energy. I mean, it's so up and down. I think even though we have the same amount of losses as they do, it seems more steady, more in control, more stable compared to LSU. And then the other part is Florida State. Now, obviously, you got your Bamas and Georgias. They're always going to do their job. Tennessee starting to take a stride, which is, that's going to be frustrating to see. But Florida State, I think they're surprising more people than what was expected. But they've also had some questionable calls late here at the end with certain situations. And I think, again, out of those schools that I just mentioned, Florida, right as of now, and this isn't me being Homer, it just looks more like a complete cycle situation of like, yeah, that's a healthy place to go to that looks like it's functioning very well. And I think people are starting to notice it's putting it on the map. For us to be able to make moves like this and get this many people at one game, this game is important. And we're going to get into that game here shortly. But I think things are headed in the right direction in a sense of recruiting. And Billy the man's been playing chess this entire time. That's what it feels like on the recruiting aspect of things. I mean, how things are moving and being negotiated and function. I don't think that this is going to be it's not going to be the first domino to fall, but it is going to be the first, not the last. I think we could see another one possibly fall later this weekend. That has nothing from anybody. That's just all me it's just feeling in my butt. Could be the bubble guts from the Braves game on out there, but it's just a feeling that I got that I don't know. I feel like Billy's always got something up his sleeve that we all don't know about. And this to me is that one of those weekends where it could turn into that, especially if Florida gets that W this weekend.
Yeah. What is the score of that game, by the way, right now, before we even get into that?
0-0 as last I checked, and hopefully it stays that way for now. So
I was about to say it was in a rain delay for a while.
It started at 7:30.
As I said, it's a big weekend. Florida versus LSU. I mean, obviously you got the recruits there, you got everything, and obviously you want to see a victory. But a lot of those recruits, if you talk to them, and now I will say, if there's an impressive win and a recruit's there, they do like that. But if your team loses, or even if your team gets blown out, it doesn't really change the decision of a recruit if he's sitting there. Like I know a lot of recruits that have seen Florida lose in a bad game and they still commit to Florida at the end of the cycle because they feel, okay, well, I can help in that area. They don't have really good wide receivers or linebackers or whatever position. And they'll be like, well, shoot, I'll get playing time because these guys weren't doing really well and I can come in and make it better. So, I mean, it can go tit for tat, but at the same time, you get a good, impressive win over a team that sends shockwaves to all the other recruits that are sitting there and watching it live. And then on top of that, you got the crowd in the background too. You hear
it's
all
sold
these
out, right?
recruits say, oh my God, that place is loud. Yeah, it's sold out. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be a big factor. And I mean,